Texas Family and Protective Services and Juvenile Justice are taking steps to do a better job of tracking children at risk of being sold for sex. KXAN's Steffi Lee shows us how a new tool could help them.
It's definitely challenging work.
It's very difficult to pinpoint children and teens who've been or are being abused, so says Allies Against Slavery President John Nemi.
Victims don't self-identify as victims.
And there are big gaps in information.
Often what service provider A is seeing and experiencing with a survivor is not being passed on to what service provider B or law enforcement is seeing with that same individual. So the coordination of care becomes incredibly challenging.
The nonprofit has its own screening tool to store notes about the physical or social signs their partners see.
When you talk about sexual abuse, there's really only about a 10% disclosure rate with children.
The Texas Sex Trafficking Unit saw the need for a statewide standard, so they're rolling out See It, the Commercial Sexual Exploitation Identification Tool.
It's the opportunity for every single person in the state of Texas to step up.
Director Kim Gerber says See It will be used for any child who runs away or reports being sold for sex. Caseworkers issue scores based on what they see and their level of concern.
It helps say, you need to look closer. It helps us say, we need to get some more eyes on this kid.
Gerber says their special investigators will use this tool for 6 months. After that, they'll train other staff in Austin, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio.
There is a lot of promise in a shared or unified approach to identification.
Steffi Lee, KXAN News.
The tool is free. It's from West Coast Children's Clinic in California. A grant from the governor's office will help provide funding for training.